Trying to hold back the tears. How did we
Oh
get
boy. Hello there, YouTube and pipe
starting to
smoking community.
rise as we
I just felt compelled to get on here. I know I've let some people know out there on the YouTube community about me of yesterday, the 2nd of April, day after Easter, and All Fool's Day. And people have been catching and reading and watching other videos and saying, oh, he's going in for a procedure, going in for a biopsy, whatever the case may be. And I've had a tremendous response on this YouTube community back about it. I mean, even across the world of the subscribers that have subscribed to my channel and I've subscribed to their channels. And I just felt compelled that I need to further explain this so everybody understands and knows what's going on. I wasn't going to do this until I had more information, but I wanted to give you a base information on what's going on with me so that you people can understand and have a further understanding on please how to pray for me, and please how to keep me in your mind and your thoughts, however you feel compelled to do this. I felt compelled that I needed to do this today. I haven't felt good at all today. I'm finally getting to a point today where I'm feeling a lot better than I did earlier this morning, because the way they had to go into my system, they tore my throat up just a slight amount to where it felt like I had a very bad sore throat when you get a cold or whatever. And when I swallow, I can feel it. And it's nothing so bad that I can't drink or eat or anything like that. And I don't have to take anything but maybe some ibuprofen or something for the pain. And I've been sucking on some throat lozenges that I have that help too, and a little bit of liquid here, there, and yonder, which please forgive me for doing this right now. What's kind of the backwash, as we call it, of my coffee is left, and it's cold enough that it actually feels good on my throat. But what it was all about, it was a very, very dangerous, and I'm not holding back or saying that to dramatize, however you say that, make drama out of this. No, it was a very touchy surgery. They could have messed up and did some real damage, or if they continued on with the procedure, whatever. They were very leery of doing this procedure. What they do is they go into your throat, and well, let me back up so you can understand this. This was a biopsy test to see if this is going to be benign or is it going to be cancerous. I've had cancer surgery, and they've had to cut my esophagus completely out of me and pull my stomach up to make a new esophagus. So I virtually have no stomach. So I can't eat very much or drink very much at all at any given time. So I've been dealing with that for a couple years now. And that cancer was what they call it, esophageal cancer. Barrett's esophagus, if anybody decides, well, I'd like to understand a little bit more and I want to look it up, you can look it up on the internet, and it's called Barrett's esophagus. And what it was caused from was acid reflux. Since I was about somewhere between 14 and 16 years old, I developed acid reflux so bad. And back then, and during that time, they didn't have a lot of technology on how to give you proper medications to control that. So it tore up my lining around my esophagus down at the stomach, where your sphincter valve is right there, that opens and closes and retains it. I'm doing my motions down here, but it's down towards, if you can understand, it's down towards right at the junction of the stomach and the esophagus. So I hope you guys can understand that. They took care of that. That was a 2-week stint in the hospital, And between all the other surgeries I've had throughout my life and this one, it looks like I've been in a knife fight around my chest and my abdomen area. I've got a lot of scars on my body. But that's not whining and crying. That's just saying I've been through it. So that was a procedure that they did. So what they've been doing, I went through 12 treatments of chemotherapy on that. And then when they started doing the testing after the 12 treatments to see if the cancer was completely gone, because when they did the surgery and cut all the cancer that they thought they could get out, they found one little tiny speck of cancer left. So their treatment was to actually do the chemotherapy to take care of that. Yeah, I lost all my hair and all that stuff, and now obviously you can see it's grown back over the 2 years of everything, and it's grown back with a vengeance. But they do a CAT scan every so many months to check to see that I'm still in remission, or I am in remission, and then if I'm staying in remission. So I've had several tests since the surgery. Well, lo and behold, the last test that they did with the CAT scan, they came up with polyps or growths, I don't know what you want to call it, up further into my throat area, off the esophagus, behind the esophagus, not in the esophagus. Okay, not in the esophagus. But it was on the outside of the esophagus, where they say it's called R2 on the branch going down on the I can't say that now, the word of the back of the throat, right where that junction is in the back. I'm not exactly sure what they call it. I apologize. I had that all set out here to be able to tell you, and then I spaced that out. Anyway, on the back side of everything. So it's not on the inside of the throat. But since I've had so many different surgeries done up and down my body, I've actually got a zipper in because I had a 5 bypass surgery done, open heart surgery done, because I had 5 arteries that were almost complete. Well, a couple of them were completely plugged shut, and then some of them were so bad that they were barely getting any blood through them, and I almost died from that. So they saved me there. And then I've also had my gallbladder out, which was a mess, and they lost me, and they brought me back and saved me during that surgery. So I've had some scary surgeries, and that's nothing that I'm saying whining and crying. What I'm saying about the whining and crying side of it is I give all the thanks and the glory to God that He's pulled me through all these. He's got a purpose for me in life. What that is, I don't know quite yet, but in His time, He'll tell me. But I've survived all of them. Okay. Now, this procedure that I had done yesterday, they go inside your throat because I've got so much scar tissue, and right where the area where the polyps, the nodules, the whatever you want to call it, outside there, I had so many of them, and there's in such an area where it's so dangerous to go in there with a regular, what they call a rigid scope, which they'd had to do like a tracheotomy type thing, and then put the scope down in me, and then grab the samples, or actually cut the growths out, and then biopsy them and test them. It was such a risk that the 3 doctors involved decided not. Well, actually, it was 5 doctors involved. Excuse me, 2 out of state, and then the other 3 were in state here in Montana. So they decided not to do it that way. They decided to go through my throat and what they call a needle biopsy. They put a special tube down me, but the tube could only go down so far because of where the growths, nodules, polyps, whatever you want to call them, were. Which was such a high risk of, and I'm going to say it this way because this is the truth, they were in fear that they could kill me or in fear that they would get to that point and realize that, hey, they could kill me. So they would stop the procedure and pull everything out, and then they would have to actually surgically open me up to get them. That was the last ditch effort to open me up and go inside and get them that way. So they wanted to try this first. So all 3 doctors that are here in the state and the doctors in Colorado, where they were from, said, yeah, let's give this a try and see what happens. See if you can get in there and decide, well, it's okay. The lady doctor that was an EMT, which it specializes in this particular type of procedure, because she does that, and she does the sleep apnea testing and stuff, where they also go into your throat and see if there's any blockages or growths or anything there. That's the reason why you're not breathing correctly at night and you have to have a CPAP. So she's a specialty in that. So she knew how to do this procedure. She's one of the best in, and I don't know how many states. She's just one of the best, period. So I was lucky to get her, put it that way. So when they get the breathing apparatus tube in there, which is also used to guide her with her scope, which does an ultrasound scan of the area so she can find out where the polyps, the nodules, whatever, the growths were. And then she takes what they call a needle biopsy, runs a needle into them and takes as many samples as she can, then pulls them out, obviously. Then they put them on slides and biopsy them, and then have pathology read them. So it's a very touch and go surgery. That's the reason why I wanted to have all the prayers and thoughts and everything yesterday, to the Lord to bless me, God and Jesus to bless me, to get me through this yesterday, because it was truthfully a scary touch and go situation yesterday. Obviously, I came through it okay because I'm talking to you today. Right now, I am just waiting on the results of the biopsy tests and the readings from the pathologies and the other doctors, my oncologist and the lady that actually did the procedure yesterday. And I'm sorry, I don't know what that scope procedure's called, but she was able to do it. And when she talked to my wife, she said everything came out just perfectly. And hopefully we got enough samples to get a good reading, and prayers and in hopes, and more my faith in God and leaving it in His hands, that this all comes back benign, non-cancerous. It's just growth. But knowing my record, guys, I have to be prepared for the worst. Now what that's going to entail as treatment and that type of stuff, I do not know. I do not know. But I'm still leaving it in God's hands to lead the right people to do the right things. If it comes back positive testing, I'm praying and hoping and leaving it in God's hands, and all you folks out there in the YouTube world to please pray for me that it comes out negative. So all they have to do is treat the spots to get rid of them, so that they don't become cancerous, as we want to say, because if they're left in there, they still could become cancerous. But the procedure will be at least a little bit different on how to treat them to make them where they don't become cancerous. With all that being said, I still need your prayers and your thoughts for as long as you possibly can. I'm putting that out there. To the point of the responses I've got yesterday impressed me to the point where I want this whole community to please understand and know this. So anybody that gets this video and watches this, I hope everybody on this YouTube community that has anything to do with me to please do this. I can't get to everybody and tell everybody please. So any of you that watch this, pass the word on, please, because it's very special to me. This community has been so good to me, and I can't say thanks enough for all of the thoughts and prayers in the last 3 days that I've let some of you guys know, and hopefully it would have gotten passed around enough to, and it has. A lot of people, I mean, a lot of people across the world that are involved in this community have prayed and said they'd be thinking about me. So with that being said, I cannot say enough thanks to everybody and give the glory to the man upstairs, God, for getting me through yesterday. Now let's get through the next step. That's what my prayers and hopes are. And unfortunately, some people are going to say, well, why are you doing this today? But I'm going to say, yeah, I am chooching a little bit here, because this is my kind of my, how do I want to put it? I don't know how to say it now. My Yahoo, whatever. I made it through it. I'm gonna smoke a bowl and enjoy it, and that'll probably be a bowl, my last bowl for a day or two. I don't know, but I'm going to do it because at this point we're not thinking anything to do with any type of smoking with me cause these particular problems. We don't know that for 100%, obviously, but at this point we're thinking not. So with all that being said, I still want to say, and I'll still keep saying it, and I'll oversay it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you, Lord, for getting me through this. And all you people out there, please keep me in your thoughts, minds, prayers. It's not over with. I've got, like I said, I've got the results, the testing results that need to come back, and see if it's benign or if it's what treatment are we going to have to go through. Excuse me here. What I've got to go through to deal with this. I will keep people up to date as often as I can, and if I'm in physical shape too. Right now, I feel perfectly fine, except I'm sick because of other things, and yeah, I'm on pins and needles, and the anxiety is there, saying, what is this? What is this? What is this? Can I, it's taken me a month to get to here, to get the first testing out of the way. So how long is it going to take to get the other stuff if I have to go through the other stuff? And I'm going to have to go through something, but what? I don't know. So with all that being said, praise the Lord for getting me this far. Thank you, folks. And please keep me in your minds, thoughts, and prayers. I need it. I love this community. I will not go away from this community unless they tell me, because of the smoking had something to do with it. But at this point, they're saying no, not yet. But I still won't leave the community. Let me put it that way. I still want to keep up with the community because we got such a family here that I became involved with, that I want to continue on and associate with you people and enjoy this, what we do. And I'll still post videos, some shape, manner. If it's about chewing bubble gum, I don't care. I'm going to stay up with you guys, please. Even though I don't like bubble gum, but that's just the ha-ha part of it. And then maybe I can occasionally have a bowl. I don't know. But until we get positive answers on this, I won't know. But I will keep everybody involved, because I want everybody involved to understand what's going on. So I've been on here almost 20 minutes. I need to get off here because I want to get this posted. And I love you guys, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. God bless every one of you. And anybody else that's going through anything out there, prayers coming from me too. I pray just as much as anybody else does to this community, because health is a major part of our lives. We need good health to continue on with any of this. So, like I said, I will keep you guys up to date and informed as best that I possibly can. So I'll get off here, get this posted, and I love you all, and thank you for everything that you've done in the last few days for me. I sure appreciate it. Thank you.